Hey guys, welcome back. Just picking up where we left off. I think I mentioned last time, I guess the first episode, of my future plan for this Excel spreadsheet is to add potential gains that we might get from the market. So let's say we put in $12,000, we'll try to invest into the stock market or in bonds or whatever, and kind of see how this grows even faster than our predicted 1.1 million once we retire at 67. So let's start doing that. So I'm thinking about doing another rand between for potential gains on the year. So let's do investment. Gain. All right, and I'll just keep randomizing. But you know what? Let me just hard code this. That way, this just gets less distracting. Well, I guess we could copy, paste this in here, and then just drag it down really quick. Then let's hard code that as values. Cool. So still around 1 million, but still pretty solid. So yeah, let's see if we can change this formula just a little bit. So the stock market or investments can fluctuate a lot between the years. I think the average is around 7%. We can put that in there as kind of a base or just as a general expectation, but we can do some variability in here. So let's just say some years the stock market will go down 10% on average, and then other years it could go 20%. And we'll just copy and drag that down. As it is with every stock market, some years they'll be kind of down, not so great, and other years it just might explode for many years, which is pretty accurate to what we see some years. Like we saw in 2020 when the stock market crashed during the pandemic, saw a huge decline for a period, and then after that just unstoppable growth. So now that we have our expected gains, we can create a new column. Let's insert that, and this will just keep fluctuating again because it's just a random number, and whenever we update the spreadsheet, it'll just start picking up random numbers. But anyways, we can do, actually, I feel like this is probably better right here. And then, let's see, we can just do percent return on here. Perfect. Holy cow, 17%. That's a good year. So let's do this times 1 plus, that's 17%. Oh, and now it switched back to 1%, but you can see we have a total, I guess, retirement. We can do this to retirement contributions. This is money that we actually put in ourselves. And then we can do total retirement. Whoa. And then I'm going to insert a new column because I just realized that this might not work best if we just keep putting in money and we expect a good chunk of that money going down. But let me do total investment gain right here. Let's make Alt HOI. There, I guess that didn't work. Investment gain. Put that in there. Let's see. So if we put in 12,000 this year times that 1 plus 16%, and then we will need to subtract that 12,000, show that gain. You know what? I'm going to start hard coding these because I'm getting a little bit confused right here. But now we have our investment gain, our expected investment gain for this year, and we'll just add these two together. So now we have a total retirement of 11,520 for 2025. So since we had a 4% decrease, we'll lose about $480 for that year. Don't worry, it looks like we might, it might take a while to pick up, but it'll start picking up again. So I'll just build a formula to add this amount plus that amount. Okay, so this is what we have in retirement. Now we have to include this percent return that we expect. So let me go to this column, times 1 plus that plus, minus what I believe is in this. Okay, perfect. Then we could just drag that down. So it's just going to be 0 for now, but let me start. Yep, and then I'll just keep picking up from the prior year, slowly build up. Nice. So just sum that. Oh, nope, not sum that. I believe, let's see if I'm doing this correctly. So 77 plus that 15. Here, should equal that 8. Should be, I guess I did something wrong, but this is the show of it. I've done this before, and I'm trying to remember how exactly it went about. Let me insert another column. This is kind of the joy of it, of figuring this out. Let's see. Total retirement. So the total investment gain for that year of $12,000. Then we wonder if we just drag this down. Yep. 0%. Okay, let's start dragging this down again. Okay, perfect. So this is the gain that we expect for the year. Then we'll have to add these two right here. That'll get us to that amount. And if we add these two, and this is just for that year specifically, but we also have to include the prior year, so let me add prior year. And then this calculation has to include this year's amounts. Whoa. So let me just drag those over. Okay. I believe we just drag down this. Total investment gain. Yep, there we go. So then if I just, well, I guess we just pick up this one formula, this amount, and that should be our total amount. Let me get rid of this column. A little bit confusing, and it's still going to randomly do some things. Let's see. 4%. Let me just double check to make sure this is. Oh. Whoa. Yep, 17. So we have these total contributions. I guess we started from this year. Yep, these three to get that 110,000. So yeah, our total contribution for that year is 13,915 plus our prior year's total retirement plus any gains that we had. So yeah, this is looking more correct. Perfect. Holy cow, 600,000. So yeah, let's see. So we're adding prior year plus this current year's gain and any gain that we had in total of our investment fund. Yeah, so this is looking good. So I was kind of on the right track, but needed to double check some work. And that's kind of the goal of Excel spreadsheets. You kind of have to go through a sniff test and see, okay, is this kind of reasonable? Does this make sense? But yeah, so far it does kind of make sense. So you can see if we didn't include any market gains, any returns that we expected, then I'm just double checking again. Yeah, we would just not be making as much money. Like if we just put in cash, and didn't get any future returns on any of that cash in our bank account, we would only get to 1 million. But if we do keep adding everything with the investment return based on like stock market or bonds or whatever or Bitcoin, whatever floats your boat, you can get way more, up to 3.9 million, which is really solid for retirement in, what is it again, 42 years? Yeah, 44 years. So really solid returns. Let's just say if we just want to do a solid 7% every year. Yeah, 5.5 million, 5.6 million. Obviously not every year is going to be perfect, and obviously depending on your mix of investments, this will change throughout. So some years you might be more aggressive and get 10%. Let's just say, I don't know, first 25 years you're way more aggressive. But then in your later years, you know what, I want to play it safe. I want to make sure my retirement's more secure. I'm just going to put in bonds or treasury bills or other commodities that seem safer. Then that will impact your gains on this. And usually that's how it works. Whenever you enter into retirement, you're just expected to earn a little bit less on returns, or I guess invest in safer assets instead of riskier ones like Bitcoin. Don't want to be doing that when you're 65 and ready to retire. You don't want to put it all in. Who knows, maybe you might get lucky, but you probably just shouldn't do it. So let's go back a couple. Okay, perfect. So yeah, some years they might be really good, and obviously when you're older, like I said, you probably want to be going into safer investments. But yeah, 3.9 million is pretty solid if you're, what is it, 60K every year. You're expected to make around 201,000 by 67, and you're saving about 20%. Let's just say I lower this a little bit to 15%. Only 2.9 million, but if I bring it back up to 20%, 3.9. Let's go down to 10%, 1.96. So yeah, just that little change, that 5% extra change, you're adding an extra $1 million over the long run, which is incredible. Absolutely insane. And that's why when you can try, or if it's possible, you want to invest as much as you can in these earlier years, so that way it just compounds way more, this money. As Warren Buffett would say, make your money create more money, or whatever, I'm paraphrasing, but you get my drift. So let's put that back to 20%. And again, let's say 70,000, 4.5 million if you just start at 70K. So it's a pretty big deal, especially when you're starting out in your career. You want to start going. You want to try to save as much as you can, start putting as much as you can, saving as much as you can, and you just get the ground running. So definitely, and a lot of you probably looking at this channel already know, but investing now is way better, safer retirement than putting it off until you're 30. Let's just say if you just got out of college, you want to start saving for retirement now instead of putting it off until you're 30, 40, or 50, because this just makes a big difference. And I can probably do it in a separate video, but let's just say we just start at age 30. We have, honestly, we can start doing that now. Let's look. Let's copy and paste that. Oh yeah, and I have a bunch of formulas. And that's going to make it smaller, but let's copy and paste that over. Yep, I get the values. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Okay. So let's just say we're going to start off with our 30-year salary. So salary should just be the same, basically, from this other one. Retirement contributions should be the same. Total retirement, let's just change this to 0. because this one is still investment gain. Total retirement, contributions, value. Oh, so there's a little bit of a circular reference here. Oh, there we go. Something happened. If it works, it works. Okay, perfect. Okay. And then I think I copied, yep, same thing. Perfect. So yeah, you can see here, this is our final, let me highlight that too, that'll make it easier to see. This is our final retirement saving amount. You can see if I just start at 30, this is just a difference of what, 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. 6 years of just saving. If I don't save for those first 6 years, if I just start at 30, I'm going to have $700,000, $800,000 less in my savings account, or my retirement, than if I just start now. And it doesn't even have to be that much, honestly. Let's see. 15. Yeah, 15%. Still there. It can even just be 10%. I guess I should add this in here. That 10%. Let's say we just start with 10%, and then from here we put in 15%. Let's see. So let's do 10% here, and then 15% here. Then, oh, wait, return to contribution. Nope, we'll just copy and paste that over. Obviously, it's not going to pick up anything, but say you're even saving 10% for those years. Let me just copy this over as well. It's picking up at the salary. W2. Let's do starting salary there. Annual raise as well. We're going to have to add these as well. And also drag that over. Okay, there we go. I think we'll need to also drag that over as well. Perfect. Okay. Let me see. 0. Choose that formula, and then you're going to need to add prior. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, even if I just do 10% savings, so it's not as aggressive as the 15%, for these first 6 years, let me, right here, it's just 10% for the first 6 years. It's not as aggressive. You can see total retirement by 29 is 35 versus 53, so it's $18,000 difference. Pretty substantial, but you're kind of closing the gap a bit. Let's see. Let's see how much it truly is. Yeah, nearly $200,000 difference between starting at 15% and just starting at 10%. Pretty dramatic, honestly. So again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but basically just start saving as soon as you can, when you can. Obviously, not everybody has the opportunity, especially with student debt or healthcare concerns or whatever happens. But if you can, even if you can just put, what, 5%? 5%. You're still closing that gap pretty quickly. You're only, here's like 400,000 difference. Let's see if I just get rid of these. Yeah, 400,000 difference instead of like a $600,000 difference. So you're getting, you know, 200, 300,000 more than what you would if you just didn't save anything at all. And that's the importance of compounding interest, compounding savings. You just want to keep building this up. So yeah, little tool here just to see future hypothetical year-by-year growth of your investment. Dang, these 4 years really came in clutch. That's crazy. But yeah, little preview as to why you should start saving early as much as you can and try try to maximize your retirement.